morning. How are you? So today the focus will be on George Berkeley. Oh, I meant to find. Let me see if I can find this. Hopefully. Nope. Oh. This is actually it, I think. This is a different production, I think.
Democratic Music, 2008
There it is. This is the one I wanted. This is where Sophie meets George Martin. That's Sophie. How many of you are familiar with Sophie's World?
No.
No.
What's the story?
That's Marcus. Notice he's in the mirror. Oh, there he is.
Hör mir mal zu, mein Kind. Ist der Tisch fertig?
Ja, ist er.
Was wirst du
Is the table real?
in German.
wenn du draufschlägst?
Aber irgendwas
This is hard.
Hartes.
Bist du wirklich? Bist
Are
du
you real, Miss
Ich
Addison?
denke schon.
I
Aber
think so.
wer sind Sie?
Mein Name ist Berkeley.
George Martin.
George Berkeley.
Ich bin Sophie.
Das Einzige, was wirklich ist die Macht des Herrn.
The only thing that really exists is the power of God.
Der Herr Sophie. Gott.
Roberto?
Danke sehr, Mr. Knox.
Thank you, Mr. Knox.
Alles, was du fühlst, verdankst du nur der Macht des Herrn. Die Frage ist, was sind wir?
The question is, what are
Sind
we?
wir Menschen aus Fleisch und Blut?
Men
Oder
of
sind
flesh
wir
and
nur
blood,
Bewusstsein?
or
Mr.
consciousness?
Knox, ich hoffe, dass Sie nun weitermachen. Lebt wohl, ihr beiden.
By
Lebt wohl, euren Namen.
So that's just Sophie's World is a interesting novel written for kids, high school age-ish,
George Berkeley,
and the
irischer Bischof.
basic plot is her father. She's Norwegian, I guess, and her father is a soldier for the UN, and he's in Africa, and so he writes to her. So every day or so, she gets a letter from her father in the mail,
Die Welt ist
and he asks her philosophical questions about things like,
nur, ob man sie auch empfinden
who
oder
are
fassen
you,
kann.
things like that.
Liegt in der Macht
And
Gottes.
so it begins like a letter dialogue with his daughter that takes her through the history of philosophy.
Und was ist mit Hilde?
And the clarinet player, Mr. Knox,
Wie sich Gott wenden kann.
is kind of her guide
Der Major.
in the visit, because she visits all these different philosophers in the sites, you know, where they
Das
are.
ist doch nicht ganz so.
So he's kind of her guide. It does have a very surprising ending. How many of you are planning on reading it now after I introduce it?
Da muss die Idee herkommen.
Oh, okay.
Irgendwo
So,
außerhalb der Menschheit. Und da der Major nicht
should I ruin it then for you?
muss es irgendwo eine
No, I
Gott
won't
unter
ruin
ihm
it.
geben.
That's right.
Ja,
I'll leave it, because otherwise the surprise ending is not the surprise.
der Major ist nicht Gott.
so Sophie's World. Kind of interesting. I started off playing some Handel for you. I guess you all might have recognized the Alleluia chorus. I guess that's kind of famous. Every Christmas almost we get to hear that, and Easter too. Actually, if you do the whole thing. So the interesting thing about that is that Handel was a contemporary of Barclay and Lyman. So we get to listen to music of the time, so to speak. I don't know how often they got to hear it. I don't think it was on their iPods. Oops, what's an iPod? Nobody has those anymore. iPad?
I have an iPod sitting in my drawer, not being used.
I have an iPad at home.
And an iPad.
iPad and an iPad. iPod was like the little Apple radio.
Yeah, before you just got it on your phone.
Yeah.
It's a feature on the phone.
Well, whatever you listen to music with, you could probably listen to Handel. What's funny is if you listen to enough Handel, you discover that he reuses his melodies quite frequently. So the Alleluia chorus shows up the melody in quite a lot of pieces. But remember, back then, music was written to be performed once. It was like a one-shot deal, and then you had to write new music for the next time, etc. So being able to listen to a particular piece over and over again, so that you can say, I used to float, but now I just fall down, and all that. You wouldn't have really had the chance to memorize it, so you might not have recognized that you were hearing the same melody over and over. Who knows? But Barclay, I think I mentioned last class that he was born of British parents who were originally from Gloucester in England, but they settled in Thomastown in Ireland. So I visited it last night actually, and it's kind of scenic, woodsy, very, very rural kind of looking. In fact, the road to the place where he was born and raised was a dirt road, is a dirt road still. So that gives you an idea, I suppose. There's a little castle there. If you visit it now, it's falling down, so don't actually go in it. Whoever took the pictures that I was looking at was pretty brave, I thought, for being as close as they were to it. Then he went to Kilkenny School, where he got his, I guess, elementary education, and then from there he went to Trinity in Dublin, and that's pretty much still the only university in Dublin still today, and it's pretty famous. Founded by the Queen Elizabeth, I believe. But in any case, a neat thing is Hillary Clinton got a PhD there recently, one of those honorary degrees when she visited, etc. That's kind of cool. But it's also the place where they have the famous library that I don't think any students use it. In fact, I don't think they're allowed to use any of the books in it. That it's just a tourist thing. So all the tourists go in, and it's just the architecture of it is absolutely amazing. The books are the kind that are all chained to the shelves, so that when you open them, they roar. Okay, that's a Harry Potter joke. Only a couple of you caught that. But they also have the Book of Kells there, which is kind of cool. How many folks are familiar with the Book of Kells? It's really kind of famous. Let's see if I should easily show you that. You could buy tickets, so obviously you need so it's a Celtic gospel book in Latin. So the New Testament. But the thing that's amazing is the artistry of the manufacture, how beautiful it looks. And it's got to be frustrating if you do buy a ticket and you do go and visit, because they only have it open to one page in a glass case. So it's not like you're going to see. You're better off just reading Wikipedia, actually. You see more pages there than you would if you went. Plus, I don't know how exciting it would be to be in Dublin today. Anybody ever been to Dublin? Anybody been anywhere? I used to go to places. I know now when I say I like last night I was, I visited, the Trinity College and so on. I don't physically go there. I'm very confused about this because I have my Oculus and I go via Google Earth and I'm, like there, except as soon as the dogs decide they're hungry, I can take that off and go feed the dogs. So it's not like we've really gone very far. So that's in the library. There are lots of other things there. And where the students actually go, instead of to this library, if you're a student at that college, instead you go to that's UC. I want Dublin, or I guess Trinity College. They're going to take it away? Why are they taking the name away? Why? I've got to read this, sorry. Oh, why? I'm going to have to read that later. However, but we can think about, are they going to use the same argument to change the university in California? There's a university in California, some of you may have heard of it, Berkeley, or Berkeley? Which do you say? Berkeley? Berkeley. I've heard other pronunciations. Barclay is the pronunciation of the bishop himself in that video. I don't know how they got him saying that, but you saw him there speaking German, which is odd because he didn't speak German, I don't think. But why does a university in California honor George Berkeley? In fact, that's not the only university in the United States that honors Berkeley. There's others.
Berkeley School of Music. It's Berkeley School of Music in Boston.
Yeah, is that honoring him?
The name's the same.
Yeah, well, you have to watch though, because the Livermore Berkeley or Lawrence Berkeley Labs, which is part of Berkeley University in California, is not named in honor of George Berkeley. It's named in honor of Lawrence Berkeley, who's the one who started the lab. Well, Berkeley spent quite a few years, I don't really know how many, teaching in Dublin at Trinity College. He got his bachelor's, then he got his master's, then he became a fellow, and he began teaching there. I don't know how many years, but he, as I mentioned, he had a friend named Jonathan Swift who got him hooked up with a noble that enabled him to publish. And he published several books. The first, I think, was on mathematics. The one I mentioned to you was on the theory of vision. Let's see if we can. Oh, we could go this way. So, oops, where'd it go? Didn't it go somewhere? There it is. So this is his book on a new theory of vision, and it's very complex. I'm not sure I even understand it very well. The one comment in Wikipedia that points out is that his view of vision is current. In other words, that when it was new, it was weird and people didn't really believe it. And he was criticizing the the accepted view at the time, and so it was a new approach, and people didn't really especially believe him or follow him. But actually today, that's like current view, according to Wikipedia, who's got to be right, and whatever. But the weird thing is,